there's one thing that you could change about the industry, what would it be?
Glad you asked that question, Gary.
Yeah. Anytime, Seth.
I will say it again. I wish that the real retouchers would have visibility as like the amazing artists that they are. I'm not saying that for me. I'm literally talking about, the guys that are 10 or 20 years my senior who have been doing this for a long time and making some of the highest level world-class art imagery. It's commercial, but it's amazing art for so long, who just don't get any spotlight at all. Nobody knows.
Are they doing that because they're not self-promoting themselves?
I mean, I don't think they're really worried about it, because they're, in my industry segment, I think most retouchers are pretty solitary individuals. They're just not out there in the light, really. They're just doing their work, and the good ones have so much work that they don't have time to be out trying to be stars or anything like that. They're working really hard.
Some of the best retouchers I know don't have websites. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's bold,
Yeah.
Bold move. Yeah.
BM.
But hey, yeah, that's not what they call it though. But I guess in that case, if you're working, then your work speaks for itself, and your reputation speaks for yourself. So you got to be a retouch god, to roll like that.
So why do you think the photographers are getting all the credit and not the retouchers?
That's been the standard in the history of art. Photographers have been foreground in visual production for so long. It's all these amazing cultural image products have come out of photography, so they've rightfully earned their place in the as the big hitters in art culture. But retouchers originally started out as like scanner operators. That's not very sexy.
You said earlier real retouching, and you've gone even so far to make real retouching stickers.
Yeah.
And I believe you own the domain.
Also a bold move.
A big BM.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest BMs I've ever seen.
Thank you. Yeah.
What is real retouching?
Yeah. I think that came out of all the retouching that does get a lot of exposure out there and has a lot of kind of attention and like rep out there in the kind of pop landscape is, it's all more like fashion editorial type stuff, and there's plenty of beautiful imagery coming out of that, but the retouchers doing that work tend to be seen as these gods of retouch, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of skill and a lot of craft that goes into that, but that's only such a small part of the conversation, because that's such a particular type of retouching that, from my perspective, uses a much more limited set of tools and techniques to get the job done.
Yeah.
And what we do, this is where we start to have these what I like to think of as a productive competition between groups. And since I find our group so underrepresented, that's why I'm willing to try to step out and kind of like, maybe cause a little bit of agitation between the modern landscape of retouchers, and the stuff that we do is just so intense and so heavily technical and so highly developed, like in terms of the technologies that we use, that we've developed, like the intellectual property that we've created, and how to get the hardest images in the world done correctly.
So the hardest images in the world. I like that.
Yeah.
That's the real retouching. The hardest images in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to work on images that we have to do things with images that look impossible, and that so many retouchers would be like, that's just not possible. They'd say no,
Yeah.
But we've, after years and years and years of having to do this stuff, have had to figure out ways to do it and do it well, high quality,
Yeah.
fast results. And thinking about real retouching is a response to forms of retouching that are much more limited and not as complex, being seen as the apex. And so while I want to have a little bit of that rap battle with the with the other types of retouching,
A retouch off.
a retouch off, yeah,
like
8 Mile type
Yeah,
for retouching. I think it's more that I want to bring that awareness in order to help kind of help people know that there's there's other, there's more to go. There's more technologies, there's more learning, there's higher end complex techniques out there that are accessible to them to learn how to make really, really hard images.
Yeah.
Is that what we call it? Hard images? Mm-hmm. Hardest images in the world?
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.